Good morning, students.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
How are you today? I
Good.
see 2, 4, 5 students so far. Nice to see you all. It's Thursday. That means we made it through one more week. Remember, in this new system, Friday there's no class because it
Okay.
gives the teachers time to get things ready for the next week. So, and we have meetings on Fridays too. So only Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are our classes. How is everybody today? Good?
Good.
Feeling fine?
Yes.
Are you didn't go crazy by watching those paired conjunctions from last week?
Yes.
You're
Same.
fine? Okay, very good. I'm glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. Today we're going to do a couple of things. We're going to do some listening practice and note-taking practice. And also, we are going to do some practice with adjectives and adverbs because we haven't talked about those for a while. We talk a lot about verbs, but remember, there are eight parts of speech, right? Verbs and nouns are the most common because we talk about them all the time. But remember, we also have prepositions, conjunctions, adjectives, adverbs, interjections. So we got a lot of other things to talk about. So we talked about conjunctions in our last lesson. That's one part of speech, a conjunction. Today we're going to talk about two others, adjectives and adverbs, and make sure we know how to use them correctly. All right. Tomomi disappeared. I don't know. All right. Anyway, but let's first start with our verb practice, okay? Sounds good? If I can find it. Let me see here. Hold on. I need to open it up on my window. All right, hold on 1 second here. I need to open up my verb window. Too many windows open. This is the problem of being a teacher. All right, let me erase that. Okay, and let me find the window that we need to open up. Okay. Here we go. 4:23 warm up. All right. All right, let's go back here and I'll share the screen. Share the screen for the warm up. Here we go. All right, everybody can see the verbs on the screen?
Yes.
Yes.
Excellent, excellent. All right, so the first one has the word always. Always is in general, right? So what can we say? Jim always
Keeps.
gives, right? Gives. The next one, I can't get into the building. ¿Por qué no? Because the janitor
Doesn't open.
doesn't or hasn't?
Hasn't.
Hasn't.
No, hasn't.
Open,
Hasn't
right?
because of yet.
Because it's not yet. Not yet. All right, the next one says since last Friday. What can we say?
Hasn't felt.
Hasn't felt or hasn't been feeling. Now the next one has the word hope. What do we remember about hope?
Is infinity.
Well, you could say hope too, but we already, in this case, we have hope that we. So
will be study.
We could say will study, or you could just say study. We'll talk about hope and wish a lot more in the future. Some of my 5s and 6s will remember it from last semester, but we haven't talked about it yet this semester. All right. Now the next two both have things as our subjects, right? We have a painting and we have announcements. So remember, when a thing is the subject, the verb is usually passive, right?
Yes.
So what can we say? Which painting
Was selected.
was selected for last year's award? Mhm. And this one says every morning, so the announcements are read, right? Those are two passives, present tense passive and past tense. Was selected, past, are read, present. Remember, when a thing is the subject, the verb is usually passive. We'll have a whole lesson about passive later in the semester. Let's see. The next one has that word since again. Since.
Yeah. Has cut.
Has cut, right? Has cut or has been
Being
cutting. Both okay. Now the next one has if, but this one is more for my level 5s and my level 6s. Remember last semester we talked about if?
Yes. Condition.
So what we have over here, would. When we have would, what do we need in the if part?
Simple past.
Simple past, that's right. So if you had a boat, how often would you go sailing? If you had. Right. We'll talk more about that again later in the semester. We're going to get to conditionals, I think, in 2 weeks. The next one is an irregular verb. It's yesterday, so obviously it's past, but it's not such a popular one. Mean. Do we know the past tense of mean? What do you mean?
M-E-A-N-T.
M-E-A-N-T. Very good, Jenny. Meant. Pronunciation is meant. I think the teacher meant what he said in class yesterday. Okay. The next one is about tomorrow. So it sounds like a future question. So what can we say?
Will you?
Will you send? Will you send the package tomorrow or not? Will you send? All right. The next one, number 11, says it anymore. Do we say isn't or doesn't?
Isn't.
Isn't, exactly. It isn't raining
Raining
anymore. We can go outside. It isn't raining. The next one has already. So what do we say with already?
Has already watered.
Has already watered. Oops. Has already watered. Now the next one is a question about something that happened yesterday.
Where did you park?
Where did you park? Exactly.
When did you park?
Where did you park your car when you went to the game yesterday? Where did you park? Let's see, 14. I'm going to buy a new hat when I what?
I am at the mall tomorrow.
When
I will be
at the mall. Remember, when we have a time clause in future, we use a present tense verb. Future time clause, present tense verb. We're talking about tomorrow, but we use that present tense because we already have future over here. I don't need two futures. Future and present. Those are the partners. Okay. The next one says, for the last few weeks, we
Haven't
had. Exactly. We haven't had any class for the last few weeks. Haven't had. The next one has, by the time I got home.
My son had already done.
Exactly. We want the past perfect there. Very good. My son had already done his homework. Number 17 says at the moment. At the moment, what can we say?
Are the boys waiting?
Are the boys waiting? Very good. Are the boys
Waiting.
waiting for the bus at the moment? The next one says she will fail if. Remember, when we have will, what's the other part?
It's
Not
a simple present.
Doesn't, right? Simple present. She will fail the test if she doesn't study. Will fail if she doesn't study. Here's another future time clause. We have I will over here. I will finish the report.
Mhm.
Before what? Before I
I take.
take my lunch break. Before I take. Very good. Number 20 says, why so loudly? It's after 10 o'clock. Why what? Why?
Why?
Do.
Do we say do or are?
Are.
Are, because it's happening right now.
Mhm.
Why are the men talking so loudly? It's after 11 o'clock. Action in progress. Now this one again is more for my level 5s and level 6s. Remember, what did we say about I wish?
I could.
Knew more about cars.
Right. Somebody said I could know, which is okay. I wish I could know, or I wish I knew, right? We got to use a past tense form with wish. I prefer I wish I knew. Let's see. The next one says today, and it's the subject here there, so we're going to use isn't or aren't.
The extra
Orange.
chairs
Aren't.
Aren't, right.
There aren't.
There aren't any extra chairs in the classroom today. The next one, how many people? How many people what? Will there
there
be?
are.
Right? Will there be?
Be.
All right. The next one is last night. So last night, what do we say?
Didn't.
Didn't, right? Past tense negative, didn't.
She didn't cook.
Last night, didn't cook. Okay. And Frank, a party every Christmas since he bought the house. Has had, right? Or has been having. Right? Because we have that word since, that keyword since. He has had a party every Christmas since he bought the house. Or he has been having a party every Christmas since he bought the house. Okay?
Okay.
Questions, problems?
No.
All right, very good. Let me stop the share here and see who we have present today. Let's see. We have Saul, we have Jenny, Tomomi, Alejandra, Maria Polito, phone Jorge. Who is iPhone Jorge?
Jorge.
Jorge, okay. All right, let me. Jorge, what is your last name?
What?
What is your last name, Jorge?
Avendaño.
Arendaño?
Avendaño, sí. Yes.
How do you spell it?
Avendaño.
Avendaño.
Yes.
Dando.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Is this your first time to this class, Jorge?
Yeah, it's my first time.
Okay. Welcome.
Thank you. Okay.
All right. So how are we doing? Everybody doing okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
We made it to the end of week number 2. So we have 7 weeks to go in this online learning. 7 weeks to go. Now, I'm going to add something to the class that I want you to get started on. I mentioned it before, but I'm going to mention it again today, and I'm going to mention it a little more seriously because I want you to get started on it or you're going to run out of time, okay? All right, so what I'm talking about is, and I'm going to share the screen with you right now. This is something I want you to get started on the weekend, if possible. Let me share it. Let me see here. Let's see, show all windows. Okay. And, okay. Just a second. All right, that's the wrong window. Okay, let me try again. All right, where are we? Here we go. Okay, now let me share the window again. Okay, here we go. All right, can everybody see the Schoology page?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so let me get to the courses here. Courses. All right, so remember, our course, we are the Tigers, right? We are the Tigers, so you always look for the tiger when you open up your Schoology page. And I want to show everybody that I've been doing some work, and I want you to start doing this. This is something you have to do independently. We can't do it together in class. But that is this video series, Connect with English, right? I've been working on getting more lessons in here. So now I have the first 10 lessons are ready to go. Well, the first 8. The last 2 will be ready to go before the end of the weekend. So again, remember, these are little video lessons. You watch a little video story and then you answer 10 questions. The video story is on YouTube, right? You can watch it on your phone, whatever, right? You just follow the link. And there it is. Coming up slowly, but it will come up. So the video series, each episode is about 10 to 15 minutes. Some are 12 minutes, some are 13 minutes, but they're each about 12 to 15 minutes, right? So I want your goal to be to see if you can watch one little episode every day, right? And then once you watch the episode, see, here's the episode. Like I said, there's the story of this girl and her family, and the girl wants to be a singer. And so your job is to watch the episode. This particular one is 12 minutes and 51 seconds. So you watch the episode, and then when you're finished watching, you do where it says CWE Lesson 1 Comprehension. CWE, Connect with English. And then you have 10 questions to answer. Right here. And then, I've showed you this before, I think, but here it is again in case you forgot. Right, so you're gonna answer the 10 questions, and then you move on to the next lesson. Right, you have to do them in order or you don't understand the story, so you can't jump around. You have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. So I want your goal to be to see if you can finish the first 10 lessons by the end of next week. The first 10 lessons by the end of next week. So that gives you Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That gives you 11 days to do 10 lessons. So give it a try. That's 1 lesson a day. It'll take about 30 minutes of your time, if you have time. Again, don't panic if you don't finish that many. If you finish 4, fantastic. If you finish 2, well, not so fantastic, but try to do as many as you can and keep the story going, because every day I'm going to add more lessons, more lessons, more lessons, because totally there are 48 lessons. And there are 7 weeks left in the class, right? 7 weeks times 7 days is 49 days, right? So if you start today, you'll finish by the end, 1 a day. If you don't start today, it'll take you'll have to do 2 or 3 lessons every day. You could do 2 or 3 lessons every day, but that will take more time. So, but if you do 1 lesson and 1 quiz, it'll take about 20 minutes. So I'm asking you to commit 20 minutes of your day to doing this video series, okay?
Okay.
All right, and I'm going to be checking to see if you're doing the lessons, right? Remember, it's 2 parts. Part 1, watch the video, and part 2, answer the questions about the story, right? And right now, we have lessons 1 to 8, and they're ready to go. And in fact, I think what I will do is right now, I'm going to send you the link to the entire series so you can watch it on your phone anytime you want or on your computer. Again, if you don't have a computer or a phone at home, then you'll just have to skip this part of the lesson. It's not a big deal if you skip it, but if you do it, that will help. Let's see. Let me get my app out here. Okay, here we go. Lesson 4, 5, and 6. Let me add the link right now. Okay, here we go. Link added.
I received.
There we go. So everybody should just have gotten on your phone the link to all the videos. So you could watch them all and then do the lessons, but then you might forget things. So it's better to do them 1 by 1. Lesson 1, quiz 1. Lesson 2, quiz 2. Lesson 3,
Okay.
quiz 3, like that, okay? All right, but there you have the link to all of the videos, okay? All right. Okay, anyway, let us continue. Okay, so let me stop the share here if I can find my. Okay, here we are. We're all back. Hello again. So, like I said, I want to start today with some listening practice and some note-taking practice. So we're going to do some listening. So I want everybody to get out a notebook and a pencil so you can take some notes. Everybody got a paper and a pencil ready to go?
Yes.
Yep, okay. Okay, so you're going to hear a little lecture. This is a lecture from our Ventures book. I'm going to share the screen right now if I can find the correct screen to share. Here it is. Oops, I forgot to push a button, so I have to stop that. All this technical stuff is very complicated. Here we go. All right. And share one more time. Okay. All right. So this is from our Ventures book, Ventures 5, and it's from chapter 6 in Ventures 5, and it's a lecture, right? So I want everybody to copy down this information: topic, definition, examples, right? Can everybody see it?
Yes.
Let me make it just a little bit bigger. All right. So it's topic, definition, examples, purposes, appropriate topics, and inappropriate topics. So this is a lecture about small talk. Small talk is what it sounds like. It's talk that is small, meaning not about important things. Small talk. Okay? So we're going to listen to this lecture. It's about 3 minutes long. I'm going to play the whole thing, and then I'm going to stop it, and then I'll play it a second time, and we'll see if we have our answers, okay? All right, so in order for you to listen clearly, I'm going to put all the microphones off now, and then we'll listen carefully, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Okay, all your microphones are off. All right, I'm going to play the video now. It's not a video, it's just listening. And then I want you to take your notes.
Unit 6. Lesson A. Page 53. Exercises 2A and 2B.
I'd like to spend some time today talking about small talk.
All right, let me turn on everybody's microphone first. All right. Could everybody hear that?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
And,
Yes.
and
Yes.
you haven't done this lesson with Miss Aguirre, have you?
No.
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 Okay. All right. So I want to make sure I don't repeat something that she was doing. All right. Let me turn off the mics one more time, and then we will play the lesson here. Here we go. Mute. Okay. Yes. All right. Here we go.
Now, I know this is a subject that many of you are very interested in because the rules of conversation are quite different in your home cultures. Students are always asking me, what is small talk? When do we do it? And why? And which topics are okay to talk about? So let me start by giving some general answers to those questions. So first of all, what is small talk? Well, it's a kind of casual or light conversation about neutral or non-controversial subjects like the weather or sports. It's the kind of conversation we have with people in places like parties, or standing in line somewhere, or when we're waiting for a class or a business meeting to start. One purpose of small talk is to break the ice, which means to start a conversation with another person, especially a person you don't know very well. It's a polite way to start talking with someone, and often it's a bridge to talking about bigger topics later, when you feel more comfortable with each other. Another purpose of small talk is to fill the time before the start of an event, like a meeting or a class. Okay, so let's say you're at a party with a bunch of people you don't know very well, and you need to make small talk. What should you talk about, and which topics should you avoid? Safe topics include the weather and sports, as I said. Also anything about your native country or your language, your family, traveling, or learning English. Movies, music, and entertainment are also good topics. Now, inappropriate topics are things that Americans consider to be private. So religion, politics, sex, and money. You shouldn't ask questions about those things until you know people very well. You should never ask Americans how much money they make or what they paid for something. It's also inappropriate to make negative comments about people's bodies, like saying they've gained weight or that they look sick. Remember, the purpose of small talk is to open up a conversation and get to know another person. Don't start out by talking about subjects that are too personal or too heavy. If you approach another person with respect and you're careful about the subjects you choose to speak about, people will feel comfortable around you. It's also a great way to practice your English.
Okay. Let me unmute everybody. All right. Did you catch all that?
Yes.
More or less? All right. Let's listen a second time, and then I'll ask you the answers. Okay? So everybody, I'm going to leave your microphones on so you can answer, but be quiet while the sound is playing. Okay? So here we go. Let's listen one more time.
Unit 6. Lesson A. Page 53. Exercises 2A and 2B.
I'd like to spend some time today talking about small talk.
Okay, so that's the topic, right? What is the topic? The topic is
Listen. It's about the small talk.
Small talk. Small
Small talk.
talk. Right. So SMALLTLAK. Right. Small talk.
Mhm.
Now, I know this is the subject that many of you are very interested in because the rules of conversation are quite different in your home cultures. Students are always asking me, what is small talk? When do we do it? And why? And
We're getting some feedback there, so I'm going to turn off the mics again for a second. Okay. All right. Let's continue listening, and then I'll turn the mics back on.
which topics are okay to talk about? So let me start by giving some general answers to those questions. So first of all, what is small talk? Well, it's a kind of casual or light conversation about neutral or non-controversial subjects like the weather or sports.
Okay. Wait, turn your mics back on. So we just heard the definition.
Mhm.
What was the
Yes.
definition of small talk? What did you write down?
It's
Start
a kind casual.
A new conversation.
Yeah,
Light conversation.
casual or light conversation, right? Casual or light conversation about neutral topics, they said. What does it mean, neutral?
When you no give your opinion.
Yeah, neutral means
Okay,
no
okay.
one is going to have an argument about it, right?
Mhm.
Neutral means it's not, there's nobody who's going to get angry about that topic. So if you talk, and what were the two things that they gave as examples?
The weather and the
Weather,
Sport.
The weather and sports, right?
sports.
Yeah, so the examples, we could say weather and sports, right? Those are examples of small talk, right? The weather and sports. All right, let's listen a little bit more and then we'll answer the rest of the questions, okay?
Mhm.
All right, I'm going to play it a little bit more and then I'll come back to you. All right, share the screen again. Here we go. All right, let's listen a little bit more.
It's the kind of conversation we have with people in places like parties or standing in line somewhere, or when we're waiting for a class or a business meeting to start. One purpose of small talk is to break the ice, which means to start a conversation with another person, especially a person you don't know very well. It's a polite way to start talking with someone, and often it's a bridge to talking about bigger topics later, when you feel more comfortable with each other.
Okay, so there's the first purpose of small talk, right?
Mhm.
The examples were sports and weather, right?
Yes.
The purpose of the small talk is what?
Let's break the ice.
To
Break the ice.
break the ice, to begin a conversation with somebody,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So break the ice will be a good answer there, right? Right? Does everybody know that expression?
Yes.
Yeah, let me write it on the board. Right, expression is to break the ice, right? To get comfortable with others, right? So often when you go to a meeting or something, they'll say, let's do an icebreaker, right? So people start to get comfortable. To break the ice means to get comfortable with others. So that was the first purpose of small talk, to break the ice. Okay? All right, let's listen to the second reason. Okay, I'm going to turn off your microphones again, and we're going to listen to it a little bit more. All right, back to video here.
Another purpose of small talk is to fill the time before the start of an event, like a meeting or a class. Okay.
Okay. And the second reason for small talk, first reason was break the ice, to get comfortable with another person. Second reason,
It's, mm,
did you catch it?
No.
I forgot.
let's see.
They said the second reason
Is-
was to fill the time.
Fill.
To fill the time, right? To fill the time before something begins. So for example, if there's a meeting, instead of, if the meeting starts at 8 o'clock and you're there at 7:55, you could sit silently, but usually when we, especially if there's people that you know, you'll say, oh man, it's hot today, or oh, the weather's getting nicer, or boy, did you see that game yesterday? Right? Or talk about things that they know, or where do you work, and all that kind of thing. We'll talk to that. So two reasons. Number one, break the ice, and number two, fill the time before something begins. Right? All right. So now we're up to the last two categories, which are appropriate and inappropriate topics. Okay, so let's listen one more time. Turn off those mics again, and we'll listen again, and listen for first the appropriate topics. Let's listen.
So let's say you're at a party with a bunch of people you don't know very well, and you need to make small talk. What should you talk about, and which topics should you avoid? Safe topics include the weather and sports, as I said. Also anything about your native country or your language, your family, traveling, or learning English. Movies, music, and entertainment are also good topics. Now, inappropriate.
All right. Okay, so they had a big list of appropriate topics. Let's see how many we can remember.
It's all about the music, entertainment,
Music, entertainment,
Learning.
Weather, sport,
sports,
weather,
Your
movies,
your country,
family, your language, your
learning
country,
English.
learning English,
music, movies.
etc., right? Very safe topics. Very safe topics. Nobody's going to get upset about talking about movies. And unless you are a fan of the other team, nobody will get upset when you talk about sports. Right? But if you say something bad about the Dodgers, I will get very upset. So just know
No
that right
opinion.
now. No, right now, don't talk bad about the Dodgers, okay?
Oh.
Okay. All right. Let's see. Let me share the screen one last time and listen for the inappropriate topics, okay? Let's listen one last time to this.
Topics are things that Americans consider to be private. So religion, politics, sex, and money. You shouldn't ask questions about those things until you know people very well. You should never ask Americans how much money they make or what they paid for something. It's also inappropriate to make negative comments about people's bodies, like saying they've gained weight or that they look sick. Remember, the purpose of small talk is to open up a conversation and get to know another person. Don't start out by talking about subjects that are too personal or too heavy. If you approach another person with respect and you're careful about the subjects you choose to speak about, people will feel comfortable around you. It's also a great way to practice your English.
All right, the end. So what were the topics that were inappropriate?
Religion,
all about the religion, politics, sex,
Religion, politics, money,
negative
sex,
comments.
negative comments about somebody's body,
Mhm.
right? All of those are not good. Don't ask how old somebody is either, right? That's another one that we don't usually ask in small talk. Now, if you get to know a person, of course you can talk about these more serious topics. But the point is, small talk is not for that conversation. Small talk is just to be friendly to the other person, right? And different places tend to be different levels of friendliness, right? In California, people are pretty friendly. In where I come from, in the Midwest, people are very friendly, and in places like New York, Boston, not so friendly. So it depends on the person, right? Sometimes it depends on the city you're in. So California is kind of in the middle, right? They're not super friendly, but not unfriendly. And people in the South, the Midwest, they tend to be more friendly. They tend to talk to strangers more often. California and New York, not as much. So it all depends on the place you are. So most people are friendly if you're friendly to them. So that is all about small talk, right? So now I do want to have a little grammar lesson today as well. And I want to quickly go over something that we've talked about before in this class, but we haven't talked about for a while. And that's, I want to talk about a little bit about adjectives and adverbs. We talked about conjunctions last week. We talk about adjectives and adverbs this week, and we're going to talk about the other parts of speech next week. So we'll have all of the parts of speech covered here in these 2 weeks. And then probably toward the end of April, we'll have a test about everything we've had so far, okay? You ready? So we've only had, this is only our 4th class together, right? So we haven't had a lot of testing yet, so we haven't had a lot of class yet. But probably, what day is today? 24th, right?
Yes.
So maybe next week, 23. So next weekend, I'm going to probably give you a test about everything we've had so far, okay?
Okay.
For you to do next weekend. So be ready for that. Okay, but first, what are we going to talk about? Adjectives, adverbs, okay? Let's talk about that a little bit. All right, so let me share my screen here again. I'm going to put everybody's microphone off again. Okay, there we go. All right. And let me start the show here. This presentation will teach you the difference between adjectives and adverbs, says the shark. All right. Right? Now, if you take the shark, for example, if you're describing the shark, you would use an adjective, right? That's a big shark. That's a scary shark. He has big teeth and sharp teeth. If you want to describe what the shark does, you're going to use an adverb, right? The shark swims fast. The shark attacks viciously, right? So it all depends on how you're describing. If you're describing the shark, you use an adjective. If you're describing what the shark does, you're going to use an adverb. But let's talk about it little by little here. Very noisy. That's very noisy. Is it real windy or really windy? That wind was a little crazy there. All right. Real windy or really windy? Well, real is an adjective. Really is an adverb. In this case, what do we need? Really. Really. Because we're describing not a person, but we're describing another adjective. So let's take a look. An adjective or adverb in an objective test might look like this. So you might see a question that looks like this. Jacob ate slow, chewing his food thoroughly. His mother was really impressed since she often accused of bolting dinner. Okay, so let me put your mics on for just a second. All right. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
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 All right. Actually, let me stop the share for a second. And then let me get the microphone off. All right. And I'm going to reshare it. Get rid of that sound. That sound was a little crazy. I don't like that sound. All right. Okay, and then let's share again. Okay. There we go. Okay, students, you can hear me now, right? And we don't have any
Yes.
crazy noises.
Yes.
All right, so here we have 3 words: slow, thoroughly, really. Which one is incorrect? Which one is wrong? Which one is a problem? Slow, thoroughly, or really?
Really?
So, slow.
Slow is the problem, right? It should be slowly,
Slow.
right? Slow should be slowly because we're describing an action. We're describing an action. Adverbs describe verbs. Okay, so let's talk about it. Adjectives describe nouns. What is a noun? A person,
Person,
place, or thing.
thing. Mhm.
So here we have just nouns and verbs, right? Man is a noun, couch is a noun, and lay is a verb. But that's not very descriptive, right? What kind of man? What kind of couch? For example, the handsome man lay on the red couch. Handsome and red are both adjectives. Handsome and red are both adjectives. All right. Good. Let's go on to the next slide. Adverbs. Adverbs describe what? Verbs, adjectives, and other adverbs. The man flirted. Flirted means when you talk to a person from the opposite sex because you're interested in them, in a bold manner. So we have a noun, a verb, an adjective, another noun. But we could say the man shamelessly flirted in an extremely bold manner. Shamelessly, extremely are both adverbs. Sometimes successfully, that's an adverb too. Sometimes extremely, shamelessly, those are adverbs. They tell how or when or how often. Those are adverbs. What sounds right is not always correct. For example, Kenny thinks he's real cool. Real cool. Well, real cool is not really correct. What do we want to say? Really cool. Adverb describes adjective. Totally hip people know that adverb needs to modify an adjective like cool. Sometimes it's literally impossible to make a mistake. Notice these words: early, fast, hard, late. I get up early and take a fast train to work. I work hard and usually stay late. Early, fast, hard, and late are adjectives and adverbs. They're adjectives and adverbs. Be careful. If you add ly to a noun, it becomes an adjective, not an adverb. Most of the time when we have a word with ly, it's an adverb. For example, nice, nicely, quick, quickly, easy, easily. Those are all adjectives and adverbs. But if you have a noun, ly makes it an adjective. All of these words, friendly, daily, cowardly, ugly, homely, leisurely, elderly, likely, all of those words are not adverbs. They're adjectives. They look like adverbs because of the ly, but they're not adverbs. They're adjectives. Adjectives are usually before a noun Adverbs are usually after verbs. Notice my example. I can learn quickly with my new laptop. Adverb after the verb. Adjective before the noun. Adverb after the verb. Adjective before the noun. Exception. Linking verbs are used with adjectives and not adverbs. Examples. Be, become, look, seem, taste, appear, feel, sound. Right? These are verbs, but they don't describe actions. Right? These are not actions. We're describing things. We're describing things usually, or people. For example, I look awful today and I feel terrible. Right? Look and feel are linking verbs. So instead of using awfully or terribly, we just use the adjective awful and terrible. Those are called linking verbs, right? This is a good list to memorize. And finally, be careful about good and well. Remember, good is an adjective, well is an adverb. Example, this kid says, I'm a good student. I always do well on my exams. Good, an adjective, well, an adverb. All right, quick test. I'm going to turn your microphones back on again. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, so again, we're going to look at some questions involving adjectives and adverbs, and we're going to see how we do. Sounds good?
Yes.
All right. Directions. In the items that follow, choose the option that correctly an error in the underlined parts. If no error exists, choose no change is necessary. All right, here we go. Number one, Faranza did poor on her algebra quiz. She couldn't concentrate because her table mate was chomping noisily on a piece of gum. Poor, well, noisily. Which one is wrong? Or are they all correct?
Four.
Poor should be poorly, right? Because we're describing an action. Let's look at another one. Lawrence cheated on the chemistry test, but he is still very happy with his A. Is that bad or is it okay? What do you think? Very happy, okay?
Yes, okay.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Very happy, right? Very is an adverb, happy is an adjective. No problem. Number three, the excruciating long school day put Wanda in a bad mood. She was very tired and just wanted to go home and relax. Okay, we have excruciating, bad, and very. Do we like A?
No, excruciating.
No, it should be excruciatingly because we're describing long. How long? Excruciatingly long. Yeah, the word excruciating means painfully, right? Painfully. So, for example, the dental treatment was excruciating. Painful. All right. Item number 4. The horrifying news that Professor Anderson was assigning another 10-page paper made his students complain bitter about his hard requirements. All right. Which one is bad in this case?
B, bitter.
Bitter, right? Bitter should be bitterly. Bitter should be bitterly. Item 5. The duck quacked loud, hoping that we would throw some French fries. All right, loud. Do we like that or do we want to change it?
The duck quacked. No, change it.
Change it to A, B, C.
Loudly.
A, B, or C?
The C.
C, loudly. Good. Because we're describing an action, we need an adverb. Item number 6. Mr. Hodges says to quit gossiping about Veronica and finish typing his report real quick. You like real quick?
No, quickly.
No, that's a problem, right?
Mhm.
All right, so
Yeah.
which one is okay?
B.
Very quick, real
Very
quickly, or right now?
Very quick.
This one's a little
Right now?
tricky. Exactly. The only one that makes sense is right
Right
now,
now.
because this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, right? If you want to say real and quick, you should say really quickly, right? Because we have 2
Mhm.
adverbs here. So instead of saying really quickly, let's just say right now. Number 7. We roasted in the very hot sun, the sweat pouring profuse off our skin, and the lemonade plagued us mercilessly. All right. We have very hot, profuse, and mercilessly. Which one is correct? Which one should we change?
Profuse.
Right, exactly.
Profuse, no?
Profuse should change to profusely.
Profuse.
Exactly. Profuse means a lot. All right, 3 more questions. We moved into the apartment real easy. Rebecca shamelessly flirted with some strong neighbors who were happy to help with the boxes. Okay, so 3 more here. Real easy, shamelessly, and happy. Which one should we change?
Seamlessly.
Real easy. Real easy, no?
Exactly, we should change real easy to easily.
Easily. Mhm.
Easily, right? Because we're describing an action. How did you move into the apartment? Easily. Number 9. Alex did good during his speeches, addressing his classmates with confidence and poise, but he did poorly for the semester because he never submitted his homework punctually. All right. Three adverbs. Are they all good? Or do we need to change one?
Good.
Good.
Good, right? We need to change good to well. Remember, good and well. Good is an adjective. Well is an adverb. I got a good score because I did well on my test. And last one. The incessant loud barks of her neighbor's dogs kept Diane from getting a good night's sleep. She did not feel well rested the next day. All right, incessant, good, or well? Which one should we change in this case?
Insensate, no?
Incessantly, right. Because we have an adverb in front of an adjective.
Mm.
Adverb in front of an adjective, right? Really happy. I'm really happy. Or incessantly loud. Okay?
Mm.
The end. Finished. Okay. Good.
Okay.
All right. All right. I'm going to send you that PDF so you can look at it in more detail. But I have a little assignment for you. Okay. Let's see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. So we're going to work in 2 groups. I'm going to put you in 2 groups with 3 people in each group. But first, I'm going to have you copy down some words. Okay. So I want you to get out a pencil. Get out a pencil, please.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Do you see these words?
Yes.
Copy them down, please. There are
Okay.
16 words there. Please copy them down. Please copy them down. I'll turn off the microphones for a second while you can work, so we don't have too much noise. How we doing? Got it all copied down?
Yes.
Yes, teacher,
Yes,
but
teacher.
Yes.
the last two words I can see it.
The last two, never and beautifully.
Never.
It's open.
Everybody got it?
Yes, teacher.
Never in what, teacher?
Beautifully. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put you in a group, and you're going to go around in a circle. There are 16 words, so everybody will get plenty of chances. What I want you to do is do three things. Number one, right? You're going to read the word. Say if it's an adjective or adverb, and then make an example sentence. You're going to do those three steps with every word. So for example, easily. Is easily an adjective or adverb?
Adverb.
Adverb. So I say easily, adverb, and then, so for example, easily, adverb, and then my sentence. I won the game easily. Right? Now, on the other hand, what about great? What about great? Is that an adjective or adverb?
Adjective.
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 So great, adjective. That was a great movie. Right? Everybody get the idea?
Yes.
So you're going to identify the word and then make a sentence. All right? You don't have to write them all down. Just talk about them with your partners, okay? But you get the idea?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Good.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to get this share out. Okay. Stop this share. And here we go. Okay. All right. So I'm going to put you into two different groups, and you're going to work together with your group. Again, you don't have to write down the sentence, but tell your partners the sentence, your idea, and see if they agree. Okay?
Una lavadora.
Okay? So I'm going to put you in your little groups now, and you can practice together, okay? All right, ready? Here you go. So push on the button that says join. Push on the button that says join, okay? There's a button that will say join. You got to push that button. Okay, here we go. All right, you see the button?
Yes.
Just push that join button. There you go. All right, there we go. Tomomi's gone, Mateo's gone, Alejandro's gone. There we go. Everybody's gone. Okay. Hello, everybody.
Hello, Mr. Webb.
I'm here to help. All
Thank
right.
you.
Okay,
thank you.
Where are you at?
Okay, we have 16 word, and we have I can find 6 adverb, and I don't know if.
All right, but take them one by one. Take them one by one.
Okay.
Right. Do it like I did in the example. So we already did easily, and great. Right. We did 2. So what's the next word on the list?
Difficult.
Difficult. All right. Tomomi, is that an adjective or adverb?
Difficult. Adjective.
Adjective. Very good. Can you make a sentence with the word difficult?
We have difficult quiz.
A difficult what? Quiz.
Quiz.
A difficult quiz. Okay, very good. We had a difficult quiz. I like it, right? Adjective in front of the noun. Good. Maria Polito, what's the next word on the list?
Quickly.
Quickly. Adjective or adverb?
It's adjective.
Adverb, right? Quickly is an adverb. Remember, ly is usually adverb.
Oh.
It describes an action, right? So, give me a sentence with quickly.
I don't speak English quickly.
Very nice. Perfect sentence. Perfect sentence. I don't speak English quickly. You're describing an action. Good. All right. Saul, how about you? What's the next one on the list?
Well,
the next word on the list. After quickly. What is the word after quickly?
It's useful.
Useful. Okay. Is that an adjective or adverb?
An adverb.
Nope.
No.
Usefully is an adverb. Useful is an adjective.
Okay.
All right. Adjective.
Okay.
All right. So can you describe, can you make a sentence with the word useful?
Yes. In this time, my tablet is useful to take class. No?
Maybe. Anybody else have an idea? Usually we describe a thing as useful, right? A thing. So for example, my dictionary is very useful. Or this website is very useful. Or
I got it.
my car is very useful. Right? Something that you use a lot, you call useful, right? Something that that helps you. Something that helps you is useful. All right. You say, oh, this explanation is very useful to me. Right? It helps me.
So my tablet is very useful to take online classes.
Mm.
Your what is useful?
Laptop? Tablet? Uh-huh.
Oh yeah, my tablet is useful for taking online classes. That's perfect. My tablet is useful. Perfect. All right. Tomomi, what's the next word on the list?
Soon?
Soon?
Soon.
Soon.
Yeah.
Okay. Adjective or adverb?
Soon is an adverb.
Adverb, that's right. All right. Give me a sentence.
Mm. I will arrive soon.
I will arrive soon. Sure. Describing an action at the end of the sentence, right? After the verb. Or he will come soon. Or we will finish soon, right? After the verb. All right. Maria Polito, what's the next word after soon?
After soon, hard.
Hard. Now, hard is a little bit of a tricky one, right? ¿Por qué? Because it's
Because
both, right?
Both, yeah.
it's an adjective and a verb.
and an adverb, right? So can you make a sentence with an adjective?
Yes. My English lessons are hard online.
Perfect. Yeah, English lessons online are hard, right? That's perfect. You're using an adjective there because you're describing a thing, the lessons. What about an adverb? Adverb is going to be after a verb.
Oh.
So what do you say?
I learned hard my English class.
Maybe not I learned hard, but maybe I studied hard.
Oh, I
I
studied
worked hard.
Mhm.
I
Oh,
played
okay.
hard,
Oh,
right?
okay.
Usually study, work, play, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
so for example, the basketball team is tired because they practiced hard,
Oh, okay.
right? Or he got a promotion because he works hard, etc., etc. Okay, so what's the next one?
Usually.
Usually, okay. What is that usually?
Adverb.
Adjective or adverb? Adverb, right. Now, usually is a little bit of a funny adverb because it takes a different position. Do you remember in level 2, we learned about the position for usually? We put it, that one we put in front of the verb, right? After the
Because
subject.
it's an frequently adverb, right?
It's a frequency adverb, exactly. So can you make a sentence with usually?
I will try. I am usually busy every Monday.
That's fine. I'm usually busy every Monday, or I usually go to bed early, or I usually read a book after dinner, right? Very good. All right, I'm going to go to the other room. You guys keep practicing, okay?
Okay.
Okay,
All
thank
right.
you.
All right, I'll be calling you back to the room in a minute, okay?
Okay.
Bye.
Adjective.
Hello, students.
The food was horrible.
The food was horrible. I like that. That's good.
Yes.
All right. Let's see.
Okay. One question, Mr. Webb.
Okay.
I'm not sure is well is adjective is adverb. Huh?
Which one?
The word well.
Well, well
It's
is
adverb.
an adverb, right?
Verb. Okay.
So
But only when you use good, you use with adjective.
that's right.
Good.
Good is an adjective. Well is an adverb. So, for example, you say, Jenny is a very good worker, and she always does her job very well.
Okay.
Okay, so which word are you on?
Okay. No, we just twist like we want.
Oh, you're jumping around. Okay, no problem.
Okay, I do good. Oh, all right. It will be adjective.
That's right.
And then I will make example. The food was good last night.
The food was good last night. Perfect. All right. All right, Jenny, how about you? Pick a word and make a sentence.
I picked the difficult.
Difficult. Is that an adjective or adverb?
It's adjective.
Adjective.
teacher?
Very good. Mhm. Because it's
The
describing something.
Yeah, the lesson is difficult.
The lesson is difficult. Perfect. Very nice. Very nice. All right. Who else is in the room? Is Mateo here?
Mateo.
Yes.
All right. Let me hear your sentence, Mateo.
It's with hard.
Okay. Now hard's a tricky one, right? Because two functions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hard can be an adjective, hard can be an adverb.
Okay, I was hard to say. It was hard to say.
It was hard to say, adjective, right? It was hard to say. That sounds good. Yeah, it was hard to say the word. Okay, what about using hard as an adverb?
It
When
is
you
really
say
hard.
the man works hard yesterday.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, the man worked hard yesterday, right? So if you say this is hard, that's an adjective. But if I say I work hard, that's an adverb. No problem?
No problem.
Okay, I'm gonna go back to the main room. How much more time do you think you need? Couple minutes?
5 minutes.
5 more minutes?
Yes, please.
Okay, 5 more minutes, and then I'll bring you back in and we'll finish up, okay? All right, so let me find the button to get out of here. All right, where's the, oh, I have to stop the share. Okay, there we go. And find my button and leave the room. I'll see you back in the main room in a few minutes, okay?
Okay.
Okay.